Alright, so we have Jessica Ai versus Jennifer Maia. So both these guys, they don't have the best records in the UFC. Jennifer Maia's 3-3 in the UFC, and Jessica Ai is 5-8 in the UFC, and she's lost the last 3 of her last 4 fights. She's probably going to get cut here if she loses, on a bit of a slump. Would be a 3-fight losing streak, lost 4 of her last 5. Probably grounds to be cut, honestly. But that's neither here nor there. Alright, let's break down the striking. So, Jessica Ai, she's primarily a boxer. I'd probably say the same for Jennifer Maia. She likes to use her hands quite a bit as well. I would say Maia does have the speed advantage. Maia does chain her combinations together a little bit better as well. She likes the 1-2, the 1-1-2, the 1-2-3. She will look to end a combination with a lead uppercut or a left hook. So I do think she chains her combinations a little bit better than Jessica Ai. Jessica Ai at distance, she likes the push jab. She's more focused on the jab and, more of a jab-centric style instead of the combination style of Jennifer Maia. So Jessica Ai, she likes the jab and then the 1-2 at distance. And that's basically a lot of her offense. But on the feet, Jessica Ai, her head doesn't move. She's very flat-footed. Her right hand drops after she throws the jab. Like her rear hand. Her rear hand is dropping every time she throws the jab. So, that left hook that Jennifer Maia is going to be ending the combination with, that could definitely land on Jessica Ai. And also, Jessica Ai, she's just had trouble defending head kicks in the past. I think it's maybe because she's a little stiff on the feet, but she just seems to have a problem defending head kicks and just meeting the shin with not her face. In the grappling for these two, so both these guys primarily like to fight on the feet, but they will mix in takedowns. Not more Jessica Ai, she likes to mix in takedowns. She likes the body lock and the outside leg trip from there. Bit of top control, doesn't have the best top control. Jennifer Maia, she likes the knees to the body in the clinch. She'll go for a double on the fence. I don't know who shoots more takedowns, but neither shoot a whole lot. But I'd probably say Jessica Ai shoots more, just off recollection of the stats. But I could be wrong. I think it's fairly similar. But I would say Jennifer Maia is the better grappler as a whole. She has decent submissions off her back, nice armbar off her back that she hit on Jojo Calderwood. But yeah, she can be a little too comfortable off her back and lose rounds and lose minutes, just trying to attempt these submissions. How these guys win fights, so for Jennifer Maia, she's strong in the clinch. How these guys lose fights, so for Jennifer Maia, it's the grappling tendencies we talked about before. And for Jessica Ai, it's the striking tendencies, which we discussed in the striking tendency part of the video. Path to victory for these two, so for Jessica Ai, look for the jabs and the twos to the body. Also up top, obviously, but yeah, no, just the general Jessica Ai game plan. But look for takedowns, I think you can, take it down, just watch out for the arm bars, but look to take it down, get some top control, and just win some minutes like that. For Jennifer Maia, I think you should look for the 2 over a jab. As I said before, her hands drop, slightly after she does pop the jab, so look out for that. Also the left hook to finish a combination, because her head is always on center line, so, ditch the uppercuts, look for the real damaging punches for a opponent with a still head, like the left hook or the right straight. Also, mix in the jab, just start peppering the jab, just volume. Also mix in takedowns to get some top control as well. How I see the fight playing out, so for Jessica Ai, when she was about to be cut last time, she used a very wrestling heavy game plan. So she might use the same thing here maybe, or she might be kind of wary of the bottom game of Jennifer Maia after seeing what she did to Calderwood. On the other side, Jennifer Maia, she doesn't offensively wrestle that much. She's only attempted 3 takedowns in 6 UFC fights. Okay, so I guess that answers my question before, that she does. Jessica Ai is obviously the more prolific wrestler, if you want to call it that. So I think this likely will be a boxing match if, these guys both show up as they usually do. And, you'll find in these women's MMA boxing matches, generally they're fairly close. Usually the activity is pretty much the same and neither fighter has too much discernible power or too much of a technical advantage on the feet. So a lot of the time, you'll get these very close fights that often end in split decision because the judges don't really know what they're looking at. There's no one really putting their stamp on the fight. And, statistically, both these guys throw the same amount of strikes and they're probably on the same level of power. So I feel like it's going to be one of those type of fights. I do think Maia has the better offensive and defensive boxing, but I'm not expecting her to run away with it. I think Ai's going to keep it competitive. I think it's going to be mostly a tit-for-tat fight. With Jessica Ai just falling short, I do believe Maia will win, either a 30-27 or a 29-28, but I feel like every round will be, competitive and semi-close. I do think, Maia's going to edge it she's going to be throwing combinations when Jessica Ai is just throwing jabs for the most part. So I do think she's just going to kind of catch the judge's eye a little bit better than what Jessica Ai is throwing. So yeah, that's my opinion on the fight. Let's have a look at the betting lines.
So prediction is Jennifer Maia by decision. I think it should be basically a pick 'em. Like, I think she should be the slightest of favourite. The line is way too wide in my opinion. I know Jessica Ai isn't great, but in these striker versus striker, mid to low tier women's MMA fights, you can't be paying juice, like, at this price, like, in these kind of fights. So I think I'd bet anything over $2.30 or $2.25 for Jessica Ai, or plus 125 or plus 130. I think historically that's just going to be value. I think this fight's going to be close, competitive at least, every time these two fight. Yeah, just in general, like in these mid-tier to low-tier women's MMA striking battles, I think it's prudent to take the dog. Like, I don't think it's going to be a profitable game plan if you take, Jennifer Maia at minus 200 every time. I don't think that's going to net you money in the long run.